Hi guys, welcome once again to The Brief with Wilberforce, and of course it's yours truly, Isaac Wilberforce Mensah. Now, I got wind of news that once again another person has been arrested for the offense of publication of false news, and it has to do with a gentleman called Duabo. He's apparently a social media or a content creator. Now, I don't necessarily know this gentleman. Of course, I've not necessarily followed his content before, but based on the information out there, he does his thing. It's more of a comic-centered thing. So what did Duabo do? So Duabo allegedly did say that the police in Ghana, or some policemen in the Ashanti region, engaged the services of prostitutes. And he also spoke about the fact that sometimes they park their car at a particular junction and then they're doing some things in the bush and then they go in tents amongst others. And, I suppose he was doing that for comic relief. Now, he has been arrested, and the charges I'm hearing, or the main charge I'm hearing currently as it stands, is publication of false news. So now, let us look at publication of false news. What exactly does the law say when it comes to publication of false news? So, publication of false news under Section 208 of Act 29, that's the Criminal and Other Offences Act. So, you see the provision on the screen right now, publication of false news. So, publication of false news, once again, is not enough to prove that the information was false. It's not enough to prove that yes, it was published. Yes, these two things are present. However, you also need to show that as a result of that specific publication, fear and alarm has been caused, or there has been a disturbance of the public peace. So I leave the question to you. If a person says, for instance, that the police people are parked, and he's a content creator. Let's look at everything in context. He's a content creator. He has put out there that, as part of his content, that some policemen did X, Y, Z. I'll leave the conclusion to you. Is this something that you watching me right now, you felt some kind of fear and alarm? Or is this something that, in your honest general opinion, is something that is going to disturb the public peace? So I'm saying this as well, not just from a mere legal background, but from the fact that I worked at the Office of the Attorney General as well, the prosecutions division, or the prosecutions department of the Office of the Attorney General, and I was actually the spokesperson to the Office of the Attorney General, or the spokesperson to the Attorney General at the time. So I know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that let us look again at this law. So if a person has made such a statement, and we all know he's a content creator, and are we objectively going to say that his statements are likely to cause fear and panic in the society? Are we objectively going to say that, fear and alarm is the term that the law uses? Are we objectively going to say that the statements that he made are likely going to disturb the public peace? Now, these are questions, once again, we should keep asking ourselves, and ask ourselves also that what's the nature of the offense? It's a misdemeanor. Now, misdemeanor, a person can stay in custody for like 1 day. So are we really going to send him to court to ask the judge to remand him for 2 weeks? Now, we know the situations in these cells. By the grace of God, I've not been there before, and I pray to God that myself and you watching me, you never experience it. However, my brother, my very good friend, Bull God, has actually been there before, and he explained it on United Showbiz how the place is, and it's not something that I believe anybody wants to experience. So really, are we going to send this young man to this place to be remanded? Are we going to send other people who make such false statements? And when we look at the false statements and we objectively ask ourselves whether the statement is likely going to cause fear and alarm, or whether the statement is going to disturb the public peace, and the nature of the offense being a misdemeanor, are we going to look at all these things and necessarily keep the person in custody? You know me. My simple appeal to the Ghana Police Service and to all the security services in general is that the fact that a statement is false may not necessarily mean that that statement is likely to cause fear and alarm, or that statement is likely to disturb the public peace. You understand what I'm saying? So, in Akan, we say, utu ejamafo no, na utu momone sofo. or utu jama for now to a crash or something like that, you know. And that's why some of my king jama say a false publication. So what I'm saying is that as much as I'm appealing to the Ghana police to be a bit liberal how they take certain statements, I'm also appealing to content creators and I'm appealing to the general public that we should also be mindful about the sort of things that we say, that we put out on social media, and the sort of things that we simply put out, you know, in the public. Let's all be mindful because there are laws that exist and there are ways around such laws. But by the time I'll be now it may be too late. By the time you may eventually get your freedom, yes, you may, but you will face some kind of discomfort. Let there be a fine balance. Let's meet each other halfway. Let's allow the beauty of democracy to manifest. My name is Isaac Wilberforce Mensah. This has been The Brief with Wilberforce. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.